Dave.
You know,
Dave.
Jeff, I remember you saying, sorry, you hear the street here. I'm walking.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can hear me all right.
Yeah.
Jeff, you said one of the things you got from the mandali was the sense of belonging,
Yeah.
you know, and
That's
these
the greatest.
little, yeah. And I just feel very small things matter so much to people, you know, small gestures of love. And Baba said, I wish I remembered this quote, there are no small things, something like that. In this big panorama, nothing is too small, whether it's a glance or a smile or a hug or sharing a meal, every small thing. And sometimes those small things I feel matter more than the big things.
Yeah.
Very true.
Wow. Yeah. It's, Baba said, yeah, if we didn't do all these little things, life would not only be unspiritual, but unlovely.
Oh, yeah.
The beautiful thing I always found with the Mandali, they gave me a feeling of belonging, like they were not just me, but hundreds of us. They were like
Yes.
our favorite aunts and uncles, and that, when I first went there, I felt to India, I felt, Baba loved everybody. Of course, we know that, but does he really love me?
Mm.
I mean, I was at that time, and they just welcomed me like my favorite aunts and uncles, and I knew I belonged to them because they extended that belonging to all of us,
Mhm.
and then by extension, I have to belong to Baba. I mean that really kind of I knew that Baba, you know, personally was interested in my life just by the way they were personally interested in my life year after year. They followed the whole trajectory of my life personally. They didn't just, well, they weren't just nice on one of the trips. They kind of followed my life, and that's my life, but hundreds. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. The personal.
Hey,
Go
hey,
ahead.
Pam, sorry.
Yeah.
I just found something to what Pam was referring to. It's right here, right in front. It's a small article, a story by our friend Rustam. It says, extra effort to please him. So it's a short one, so hopefully I'll read quickly.
Yeah.
One has to put in that extra bit of effort and take a little extra care while pleasing the beloved. This is what the Mandli always laid emphasis on. They would take this very seriously, even in small things, so much so that we often found it ridiculous. For example, if a letter had to be posted, the Mandali would want to look at the envelope. They would point out to the resident that the stamp could have been pasted straighter or the writing should have been better. I once asked, what difference does it make? The job gets done, and that would please the beloved more instead of the delay in attending to these small and silly things. Erich's reply was, it's the small and silly things that matter most. The effort that you put in it is what would please the beloved. It is an indication of your love for him and to what extent you are willing to go to make that the effort to please him. No effort that you put in is enough where pleasing the beloved is concerned. So it goes on, but I thought I'd just
Yeah.
mention.
Lovely. Yeah. Right. So true.
Yeah.
So we lost Alan. He kind of went off into the other room. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there he has come back.
Back up. like a raccoon that comes in at night and
We're waiting for thought of the day, Alan.
Jeff,
yes.
did you have heard Amber before to speak?
Yeah, that's why I asked her, because I was at that meeting when she read that at the end.
Oh,
So I know I was putting her on the spot, but it was well worth
yeah.
hearing what she wrote.
And she was happy to do it, to share.
Yeah, she was kind of shy and everything. She was over in the corner, but she came forward and
Yeah.
I spotted her in the background and yeah.
Wow, it's an amazing, writing that she did. Wow.
So Alan, what's up?
What's up?
What's
Yeah.
up? What's up? What's up?
Nothing much. Just
Hey, Pasa.
got off work. And glad to be here. I just got the very end of everybody kind of saying goodbye to Betty.
Yeah.
I'm just cooking some dinner. But yeah, long day.
Yeah.
My mom is getting more into reading the Baba books. She called me today, or I called her, and yeah, she was like, I didn't even say anything to her, and she just said immediately to me the first thing. She was like, I'm just having a really hard time accepting him as like the same Christ that I grew up with. I just can't accept that right now. And I feel like he is the avatar that's come again, but I can't, all I know is that I feel just very comforted reading the stories. I feel like it pulls me away from all of my troubles.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, well, I mean, I didn't know what to say. I just was like, well, just keep reading the story.
Just happening in this last week. I mean, for you after years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna offer her to read Love Alone Prevails, because she's into history. She likes reading about history, so that book has a lot of references to places and dates
and it's her from her diaries, from Kitty's diaries.
Yeah.
So you get a first-hand account of what it was like to be with Bob.
Yeah, that book is incredible.
Whereas the book God Man is kind of the chronicle of Baba's life, but this is a personal camera angle.
God Man is by Charles Purdom.
Yeah.
We never found out the name of that guy that you and I were thinking about a while back. Quentin Todd.
Quentin Todd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about that somebody who came to Baba in the early days and then eventually kind of drifted away, and we couldn't remember the name of the guy.
So that was, but I think he
was it Quentin Todd, or maybe I'm thinking of.
He was an actor, right, Jeff? He was an English. He was an actor, Quentin Todd. He was an English actor, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When Baba met him.
In the stage. Yeah.
He was in that group, that English group.
Wow. That's cool.
But that's a little story about this woman. She's Brazilian, and she lives in Florida now. She married. She was Catholic. She grew up Catholic. She had that same feeling that your mother have about Christ, about Jesus. She was devoted, and she married this man. He was a Baba lover,
Yeah.
When she married, and then she started getting, to know Baba, but she couldn't, like you're saying about your mother, she couldn't believe that he was the incarnation of Christ. She just couldn't understand this. For years, she was married and she was going to Baba meetings and stuff with her husband. So then one day she told me this. One day she was driving on, on the street, on the town where she lives in Florida. And she passed by a church with a cross, as a Catholic church. She said that in that moment, she looked at the church, she turned to the side and she looked at the church, she looked at the cross. In that moment, she understood. She said, I don't know how that happened. I don't know why it happened in that moment. But it was a moment that everything came to her down like boom. And she understood. And she said, oh my God, Baba is Christ. It's the same. Oh my God, I know. Now I know. She was, she finally realized, but it was just like in 1 second, like this, when it split second, maybe all the knowledge she was accumulating, all the information, and until up to the point where she realized that. Was when she told me we cried because it's such a beautiful thing. She was so emotional about it. She said, now I know who Baba is. Mm-hmm. And was just like that in one moment, came down to her.
Yeah.
So these people, Jeff. It's like Ray Espagnolo.
Yeah.
His wife Sonia.
Yeah.
Sonia, she's from Brazil.
Oh, beautiful.
They used to live in New Jersey.
Yeah, they were in New Jersey, and they had their daughters, and
yeah. Now she lives in Florida.
Yeah.
And you guys have heard of that story of that one guy who's from Puerto Rico?
Arsenio.
Maybe you know him, Jeff.
Yeah.
Arsenio Rodriguez?
Yeah. You mean
his
mother?
Yeah, about his mother. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. He lives here.
Yeah.
In Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, his mother was a similar situation, devoted to Jesus and Catholic. And she, came to India, and I think it was on her last day. She was trying to determine whether Baba was Jesus and everything. On the last day, as she was packing, and she took off her sandals, and they have a photograph of it. On the bottom of one of the sandals was Baba's image. On the other sandal was Jesus's image, and that was Baba's, saying they're one and the same. A beautiful story.
Yeah.
And they took photographs of that.
Wow.
What was that? In the sandals, there was an image. Was just there?
Yeah.
It just came out. Nobody put it there. Wasn't a picture.
Yeah. Just from all the walking on, just all the walking and everything, it had created the image of Baba and Jesus.
The face
of her sandals. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, lovely.
And
one thing was, now that Baba has left his body, does that mean that all of his miracles are gone?
No, not at all.
I didn't know how to say that.
It's happening all the time.
She said, those Baba lovers that I'm reading about, I'm sure you've met some of them. And I was like, yeah, you're talking to one right now. She's like, you have experiences like where you feel Baba? And I was like, yeah, every day. And she was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting, very simple questions, but I could feel that she really was kind of digging into trying to find some answers.
I'll tell you, these, I'll tell you one story. It's kind of off the wall. This guy wanted to come down and golf, from the Midwest, to come down with his golfing buddies, and Myrtle Beach is golf capital. So he's arranged this, but then there's his wife, who's kind of like an extra wheel. So he looks up. She looks up and finds
What
him.
is that supposed to mean? She was the extra wheel.
Well, she's not into golfing. So they arrange, she arranges a place to stay in Myrtle Beach. And somehow she gets the center, the Baba Center, and, and makes reservations. So they come down here and they come, down to and he sees this place, and he's like kind of worried. They're going to take my wife into this place, this spiritual center. He was actually kind of worried about it being some kind of a cult. So he decides that he better accompany her in. So he comes in. He has never evinced any spiritual interest at all, but so they come in and they're being given a tour. And when he's crossing the bridge, he says, I've seen this before. I've seen this, he had a deja vu experience. And later on, they went to the barn. And in the barn, he went over and prostrated himself in front of Baba's chair. Now, she's like, what has gotten into my husband? He just came down here to play golf with his buddies. And she sat on the chair. There used to be a chair right next to where Baba sat. And she was sitting there and she could see Baba responding to him, reaching down and touching him. And finally, afterwards, when they left the barn, I said, honey, what got into you? You never do anything like that. He says, when I went into the barn, I saw this swirl of light, a huge swirl of light, and there was a hole in the middle of this thing. And if I went into that hole, I knew I would dissolve in God. And he just hit the floor and prostrated himself. So, I mean, those types of things still happen at the center. I mean, about every month and a half, somebody sees Baba or has, he's there. They see him walking by their cabin or in their room at the foot of their bed.
Oh.
It happens, yeah.
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 Sorry, Alan, you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say she's still mesmerized by my mom's still mesmerized by like miracles, because like in where she grew up, they knew about like saints where you would like go and if you were sick or something, you'd go and like touch the statue and it would like give you like money and all these. And so for her, like that's her background of like, oh, he's like he can like read minds and stuff, And I was like, oh yeah, yep, he can. But that's her background. Is more like the wow factors is what she's interested in.
But Alan, I think it's so great. It's precious moments between you and your mother now that you are guiding her, to get to know Meher Baba. Whatever will happen, we don't know. This is between Baba and her. But the fact that you are with her, and have these moments that she's reaching out to you, to ask questions and to find out more. This is wonderful. This is beautiful,
Yeah.
This is a very rare thing that happens between mother and son or daughter, whatever it is, mother and a child. Normally the opposite,
Yeah.
I will ask the parents, but she's asking you, so that's a very rare situation, very precious for your spiritual awakening and for her, together, you are together in this path, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's been
Baba designed for you and her to be together in this moment.
Yeah, she's been absolutely just very, very loving to me my whole life. She's been very selflessly giving. That's her thing, is a lot of selfless giving. I mean, she tries. She can't really stop herself. Like, she just has to help everybody.
That's good.
Well, we need a few more of those kinds. Hey, what about Prakash, though? I mean, Prakash is. You got anything? You got anything going on over there?